those of you that know me are probably like, Kelly, why did you buy a blue? Why did you buy a blue? Especially a light frosty blue. What were you thinking? And what I was thinking was, wow, this bundle is such a good deal. Why would I just buy the shadows that I think I'll use when I could get extras that I don't need for a low, low price?
All right, lovelies, BYOP baby, take 2 with a working microphone. I hope. I'm just about to check this, but I did 2 days of filming. I did 3 videos with this thing attached. Before we left on vacation, I was doing some voiceover work for Paul Mitchell, and I need this when I'm plugging it into my computer. Don't so much need it when I'm plugging it into my camera. None of my audio worked. So what that means for all of you is that you're gonna get to see 2 looks in tonight's video. Well, it's night for me. It's 10 o'clock at night. You're gonna see 2 looks in this video where I only planned on doing 1, so I hope you enjoy that. I do have to say, I am really excited for this month's theme. I think that, you know, I like the palette that I came up with, but even more so, I just really like the concept behind it, and really it was very helpful. It was very helpful for me to do. If you are new to this series, my friend Kara and I started this Build Your Own Palette series in the hopes of using our single shadows more and not just swatching them, putting them into palettes, and then never to be seen again. So we hope to encourage all of you to use the makeup that you have and really get creative with it. I am so glad when I hear that these videos have inspired you to pull out some of your own makeup and have some fun with it. Now, if you would like to join in on this and you are a creator, we upload on every last Thursday of the month. And really the only rule is that we used 10 shades, and you can hop in when you want, bow out when you don't want to. If you are not a creator and you want to join and you want to share with us, you can always tag us. If you're on Instagram, snap a pic of your palette, snap a pic of a look that you did, snap a pic of some swatches, whatever you want. We just love to see it. So I will make sure to have my friend Kara Beauty and the Frizz linked down below, along with any other creators that I know that are doing this palette. So we put out a question on Instagram asking if there was anyone who had some ideas for BYOPs, and Olivia, also known as Strawberry Mermaid Beauty, I will have her socials linked down below. She had suggested this idea, and it was sort of like, what she had said was, name 3 shades that are like, why did I buy this? Now, obviously we are at the end of the month and not near April Fool's Day, but it does sort of tie into that theme. And I thought this was such a great idea because I know that I definitely have some regret shades. And honestly, I have way more than 3. I decided to do 5 regret shades and 5 shades to sort of round out the palette. So I'm going to give you swatches. I'm going to give you my thoughts on why I consider these regret purchases. All of the shadows that I picked out for those are ones that I have purchased, not anything that I got in PR, because obviously I think that, you know, it hits your heart more when it was your money, right? So talking through that, and honestly, like I said, this was just a really great way for me to dive into my collection and like really sort of evaluate some things. So I cannot wait to get into that with all of you. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Like more BYOPs, we have decided for next month's theme. I will be sharing that at the end of this video, so hang tight and you will get to hear what we're gonna be doing very soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and zoom in. I will be doing some swatches and then we're gonna do this look. I have to say, I was actually just talking to Kara. I was like, you know what? I didn't wear eyeshadow to work today. I did sort of like cheeks, lips, you know, just some like fresh complexion. And I was like, I must have known that I was gonna plug in my SD card and be like, oh, there's no audio. I'm gonna have to redo this. So hence the late night filming. So I'm sorry if it's a bit dark. I'm trying to do the best I can while keeping, you know, a true look to these eyeshadows. So come on in, enjoy my, at this point, 15-hour makeup. I did put some concealer on my eyelids. Other than that, we're just going with what I had and a little lipstick, you know. I tried a little bit for all y'all. All right, let's go. A peek at my palette. Da 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 da. Here we have it. So again, there are 5 shades in here that are regret purchases, foolish choices, and there are 5 that I'm hoping will help us to use these. All right, so obviously I already know the shades that I used in the second look, so I am going to try to do something a bit different for the first look. But let's talk a little bit about these. Let's go over my 5 regrets first, right? We might as well just get in with the hard stuff. So this was a shadow. I knew right away that I was going to pull out some things from this little palette I have. This is a shadow from Copacetic Cosmetics. This is the shade Eaters of Light. Now, it's beautiful. I mean, you can see it's a very pretty orange. It does have some flecks of like a pinky purple in it, like little micro glitters. The thing about this is that it is a pretty flaky texture. Oh, I also did a little caveat in my previous video that my skin right now is hella dry. It's all like starting to slough off. My vacation tan is leaving me by the way of peeling. Well, not peeling, but like, you know, just dry skin. So I am actually very quickly just gonna put some moisturizer on my arm and then let it soak in. But while I'm doing that, let's talk about my experience with Copacetic. So this collection, I picked up a few shades from. It was the Doctor Who themed or inspired. It's not necessarily themed, right? We've got trademarks that we have to avoid, but like it was inspired. And I do consider myself a Whovian, maybe a very tardy Whovian. I have not seen any episodes since Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, so I am very behind. But I really loved that show, and I was like, oh yeah, this is super fun. I want to get a few shades. I think I only got 3. I think there were probably 4 or 5 of the shades. Sorry, I'm like sliding away from all of you. So I didn't get all of them. I just got, you know, a few of the shades that speak to me. And honestly, they all have a bit of a flaky texture. And this was really towards the beginning of me buying indie shadows, towards the beginning of me, you know, finding formulas that I liked and what I didn't like. And this is one that I don't really like. It's not. Ugh. Plus, these pans are all starting to like rust. I don't love that so much. I don't know why that is, but you'll be able to see here in this finger swatch. Well, I think you'll be able to see. Like, can you see the bits of flakiness in this? Now, this isn't super bad. There is, the teal one that I got is probably the worst of the bunch. I got a purple and I got a teal. I think the teal is the worst. But also, I really have to work. Actually, this is a pretty good shade. Now, obviously, I just, or a pretty good swatch. I just laid down that bit of lotion. It's not like wet, so it's not like I'm putting these on wet, but that does help. The swatches from my previous set, it was very dry and dusty. You have to really work to get this on the eye, to get some impact. It is pretty though. You know, like once you get it really nice and smoothed out, it is pretty. I have just learned that I do not enjoy fussing with shadows. Most of the time, I don't find it worth it. I also got sucked into Copacetic's $2 Tuesdays. And I think that's actually what this might have been part of. But like sometimes they would just have like random bunches and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try that. And it's like, I just got sucked into the quote unquote deal of it all. But if it's like a $2 shadow that I don't use a lot of, not only is that a waste because it's product wasted, but it's also like the, you know, the carbon footprint of having it shipped to me. And then it's just gonna sit here. Like, so I'm like, stop doing that. That whole like perceived value of something, like if you're not really gonna use it a lot, don't grab it. Now, I stopped fairly quickly. I got a few little bits and baubles from the brand and I was like, I just don't know that this is something that I need. In the wide, wide world of indie cosmetics, I just was like, this isn't a brand that hits home for me. Another brand that I find that I've had a tumultuous relationship is Shine by SD. Now, I will say, I think they have some beautiful things. I really do. This is from the As Above, So Below collection. And this is Nightmare Eyes. Now, I was very excited when this collection came out. I attempted to purchase from Shine by SD once before, I think the Black Friday previous to this launch. And it was so overwhelming because the brand has so many shadows. And I was like, I did not do enough research. I did not do enough research into the formulas because by then I knew enough. I knew enough to like, okay, wait, do I want something that's transparent? Do I want something that's duochrome, multichrome? What's flaky? What's not flaky? Like what has micro glitter and what doesn't? I was like, okay, we're just gonna close out that browser and not buy anything. So I did decide to buy a few things when this collection came out. Now, I felt a little bit duped. I felt a little bit duped. Again, this is Nightmare Eyes if I didn't say that, but I think I did. This shade is pretty. It's a little bit lackluster for me. And even more than that, there's another shade that I also picked up that is very similar, but maybe a little bit more babam. I mean, it's okay, but it's like, I think we've seen this many times, and Shine by SD shadows are not cheap. They're not an inexpensive brand. I was pretty underwhelmed by this. And, you know, I am all for aesthetics, right? If you just want to have beautiful swatches, that's fine. But if they get to the point where you are laying them down over really damp skin, you're putting them over a primer and you're not disclosing that, you are putting the lighting just so perfect that it's like, you're never going to see it like this on your eyeball, but doesn't it look good here? It's like, there were shifts in some of the photographs for the PR on these that I was like, where is that coming up? Please show me that on someone's eyeball because I don't see it. So I was just sort of turned off. So I haven't really purchased anything from the brand since. And again, there's so many brands out there, I probably won't. I have seen, honestly, the only thing that I have seen that's tempted me is, you know, Riley from Seeking Shifts. She had some beautiful shades that came out and I was very tempted, but I didn't grab anything. Okay, you are all going to probably be a little bit surprised that I have a Devinah Cosmetics shadow in here. You all know I have a love for the brand. I'm probably a little bit biased. This is from the very first collection that I purchased from Devinah. This is Altair, and this is from the Stargazers collection, I believe. And here is the thing. It's a beautiful shadow. It has a wonderful formula. Those of you that know me are probably like, Kelly, why did you buy a blue? Why did you buy a blue? Especially a light frosty blue. What were you thinking? And what I was thinking was, wow, this bundle is such a good deal. Why would I just buy the shadows that I think I'll use when I could get extras that I don't need for a low, low price? Like literally. I mean, I think the only time I have used this shadow is in themes of BYOPs, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm going to turn this down just a smidgen. This has a really pretty sort of like ultraviolet to periwinkle shift. The blue base does almost get a little bit of teal to it, so it's really dimensional and it's beautiful. It is a blue purple though, so it's pretty. I've only ever used it where it was like in the theme of things. I've never picked it out to be like, you know what I wanted to wear today is this shade. But it was the deal. It was the deal that brought it home. And honestly, it's just sitting there. I will keep it because now with doing, you know, swatch comparisons, now I obviously have received quite a bit of PR from the brand. I'm very lucky to do that. I do have a discount code with them as well. So, you know, I love the products. This was just something that it was just something that I didn't need. Okay, another brand that honestly I have a lot of things that I love. I also have a discount code with Pretties for Your Face and eyeshadow shades that I have created. So I have a great love for the brand. I don't even remember picking this one out. Okay, sorry, had to change the card. But as I was saying, I don't even remember picking this one out. I don't know if I got drawn into the little like preview photo of the pan, which many times is very different than the actual swatch that you'll see if you click it and you look at the like on-skin swatches. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe I was just like, these are such a good deal, I just need to buy these, but why would I buy a deep blurple? Now, does this at first glance look like a beautiful shade? Yes, this is Plasma, and again, this is from Pretties for Your Face, so I think that this must have run me between like $3 and $5 with the sale, because I do think it's one of, not their standard shades, they're like, oh my gosh, what are they called? Can't remember, but sort of like the more like multi-chrome, the higher like expense formulas. It's 10 o'clock at night, give me a break. But the thing about this is it's a pretty color, but it's not one that I will use very much. And also it is more satin. It's softer. It's not like a foiled, super shiny. Like I would say that this is almost leaning into a satin multi-chrome, if you will. So I don't even know if the shift is showing up. It's soft. Like it is that, you know, deep purple into like a pinky blue purple, but it is just so soft. You can also see it here. Like, I don't even know if I've ever really used it before this video, to be honest. I've probably swatched it. I don't know why I bought it. I just don't know. Those of you that know me are probably like, Kelly, why did you buy a blue? Why did you buy a blue? Especially a light frosty blue. What were you thinking? And what I was thinking was, wow, this bundle is such a good deal. Why would I just buy the shadows that I think I'll use when I could get extras that I don't need for a low, low price? Honestly, again, I do think it was one of those things where it probably was just like, these are such a good deal. I need to get these. So I've just never reached for it. And it's like, I don't think that I will. This is one that I could probably pass along to either a purple lover or someone who likes a softer shadow. Now, the one thing that I will say about this is maybe if you have really oily lids, you really don't like something that's thicker feeling, this would probably work. It's very smooth. It's very smooth, but it is like thin and a little bit on the drier side. If you obviously wet your brush, you use a tacky primer, something like that, you're gonna get a little bit more babam from it, obviously, but. Okay, so the next one, and I have several like this, and I will never do this again, but this was a regret on many levels. Again, I do not even remember buying this one, so that leads me to believe that maybe it was a freebie, could be, or it was a, oops, I need X more dollars to get free shipping. Anybody else been there? So this is from Klarity Cosmetics, and this is the shade Partition. I kind of wonder, at one point I did an order from Klarity when they were doing their little like treasure hunts or scavenger hunts where things were like either incredibly cheap or basically no cost. So I'm wondering if I picked that up. Now, since then, the brand has changed their formula, so I can't really like say on anything. This is a pretty color, but do I have many sort of like sandy, beigey, champagne nudes? Heck yes, I have many. Why would I need a lifetime supply in one blush-sized pan? Why? I do not like, I do not like this formula. Not formula, I do not like this format. Why do we have these huge pans? It's an okay shade. It's an okay shade. Am I gonna reach for it? Am I going to go into the little set of jumbo-sized pans that I have to be like, you know what I really wanna wear today is Partition? No, I am not. Nope. So I will have to make an effort to use it. In fact, I don't even know if I have actually used it, so I would have to put it into a BYOP to make an effort to use it. Okay, now we're gonna get into the shades that I chose to sort of round out this palette, help me enjoy using some of these regret purchases. This one I pulled out because I thought with, I've already forgotten the name, with Altair. Oh, I hope I said that. I hope I said that when it was the Devinah one. I probably made a note if I didn't. But with Altair, I thought the way to get to use this more would be to maybe put a deeper shadow underneath to give it a little bit more richness, something that I would feel more comfortable wearing. And that's why I pulled out Duchess from Makeup Geek. Also, I'm trying to just use more of my Makeup Geek shadows to decide if I want to keep them or if it's just time for them to go to the makeup graveyard. But this is obviously a really pretty purple shade. Now this is, purples are hard to do. We all know this. This is a shadow that does take a bit of playing with. You can build it up nicely, but actually I did use this in the look that I did the other day. So I just really wanted a softness to go underneath Altair. So I didn't really care if it was like super, super deep. I just wanted a bit of color there to like lay that other shadow over the top. I also think obviously it's gonna go well with some of these other colors that are in the palette, and I thought it was just a nice shade to pull out to see, again, if I want to keep it. Now, the next shade, I knew I was gonna want a warm, but like not too bright shade. This is Sura, and this is from Devinah, and this is just, it's so pretty. It is, you know, very springy to me, like spring into summer. It's this beautiful, like muted coral, if you will. And I guess when I say muted, I mean like earthy, but without adding more brown. It's like, it's grungy coral. Who would ever think that there would be such a thing? I don't know, but if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Devinah. I also love, you know, I love this formula. It is thinner. It's a bit more powdery without being too like chalky dusty. And what that means is you can kind of take this and really like buff it out and get almost like two different colors, you know, which I mean, you can do that with a lot of shades, but sometimes those like really creamy ones, it's like, nope, you either get darker or darker. That's all you get. Or you keep working it and then it gets patchy, and that's not what happens with these. So I really do like it. Again, I think it really goes with this combination. I'm trying not to have to pull the sleeve of my bodysuit down too far so that like my fat arms are not like stretching out the, what do you call this, cuff. Okay, so this next shade, I wanted something that's a true neutral, but with a little bit of a difference, and you know, something that's in the brown family, but isn't an orangey brown, because I already had Sura there. So I was like, oh, let's get away from that. So this is Abundance, and this actually has such an interesting undertone. Like in the pan, I feel like it looks a bit like a pinky neutral brown. Like, I don't know if I want to say pinky, like just that like cool tone that lives on the red side. But I find that this actually, when you buff it out, it really gets quite a bit more cool toned, and almost has, this is not a great swatch, but it almost has that like purpley undertone to it. It's very interesting. I don't think it looks like the swatch or like the pan. I don't know. It's just me, maybe, but I wanted to have this in here. I think it's one that can really be combined with a lot of these, so I wanted something that was somewhat neutral to really ground a lot of these like major colors, so that's just what makes me feel comfortable. I also wanted to have a really light, fresh neutral, something that could be just dusted in if you wanted to use one of these and then have something to blur it out with, something that you could use as an inner corner highlight. This is Peach Smoothie, again from Makeup Geek, and honestly, like it's not very often that I pick out a just like soft, very light matte. There have been times that I've picked out whites for certain themes, but like other than that, I was like, you know what? I can't remember the last time I picked out like a really light nude. And I was like, I think that this is going to go really well in this palette. And so that was one that I decided to put in here. I'm just drying off my fingers here. So Peach Smoothie, this formula still feels really great. I tell you what, Makeup Geek, their shadows just really hit the mark for me. So now right now I am obviously approximately 16.2 shades deeper than I normally am now that, you know, we just got back from vacation. But this really does work as a all over like, you know, lid shade for me. It's just, it's really pretty. So I find it to be a multitasker. You also know, if you are not new to my channel, that I always like to have a couple inner corner options. I did think that, you know, this shade here could be an inner corner. This one could too, depending on the look, but I wanted something that had a lot of bright vibrancy and something that was more in that like blue purple realm, just to go with some of the other shades. So I chose Clionadh Glow. I love this one. It is just beautiful. It's bright. It adds some extra pop. It just really easily takes a look to that next level without doing much to it. And, you know, I'll be honest, like my makeup vibe recently has been, as far as eyeshadow goes, very simple with just a little something that's going to stand out. I mean, you can see here, that's like a kind of skinny, small swatch, but you can see like, oh, I mean, can we just, you know, there are some times where it's like, wow, clean shadows are expensive. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that's why. Because they look flipping electric. That's why. All right, so that is it. You know, again, I feel like there isn't like a horrible shade in here. None of these I'm like, I hate this. Like, this one takes a little bit more work than I want to, but it is really cute when it's on. This one was sort of underwhelming, like another shade that I got, and I felt a little duped in the images, but it's not bad. It goes on the eye okay. This is obviously a very pretty formula. just not a color I'm ever going to elect to wear very often. And then this was like, I don't know that this is for me. If I'm going to be picking out a multi-chrome purple, I am probably going to want something that is more Babam. I probably am. Is this an incredible value? Yes. Is it something that I need to have? No. And again, a lifetime supply of champagne gold, of which I already have. Didn't need it. So there's the review of my palette. Now let's get into a look. Okay, as I am like swiping this off, I can tell that it is at the end of the night after a long day of talking. You know, obviously as a hairdresser, I'm chatting all day. My throat is like, it's about done for the day. It's like, we need rest, Kelly. So if I sound like I smoked a pack, I didn't. I didn't. Did I drink enough water today? Also, I didn't. But, you know, what can I say? All right. So I think that I am just going to do this look as like a little sped through. I don't think that there's necessarily anything that I have to add here. You will see in the second look that I'm sort of chatting with the camera because I thought you all could hear me, but to just let my voice rest a little bit, and then also because it's really just about, you know, why I chose these shades, but I did want to show you another combination to get these to work for me. So while I'm doing this and you're watching me apply, I would love if you know right off the bat some foolish shades that you have or like regret purchases, leave them in the comments. I am just dying to know. All right, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so not bad, not bad. Don't hate it. Would I ever be like, I really want to do that combination again? No, probably not. Now, normally, obviously, I would be putting on fresh mascara, right? This is mascara from a long time ago. I could put another coat on, but I am honestly, after this, going to put makeup remover balm all over this and just be done for the day. But I like it, but did you see how that Shine by SD shade, and honestly, I did not use a glitter glue, but I did wet my brush. I tried to put on a lot, and it was just like, that's soft, that's nice. I did put the Eaters of the Light shade on the outside. I almost kind of regret that because it like covered up the slight duochrome shift that the Shine by SD shade did. Obviously, I put that Partition on as my inner corner. Now, with as dark as I am for myself right now, that works, but I don't know that I would necessarily be able to do that on the regular, so that's going to mean that it's going to be more of a lid shade for me. What I really liked were the other shades that I pulled in. You know, that Sura shade is so pretty. Obviously, I just put a very light dusting of it on, but you can see how you can just make it this really nice soft shade. I could have like packed it on and made it more intense as well, but the next look I feel like is pretty intense, so we didn't need to do that. This is light and soft. You know that I usually try to do like one bold, one a little bit more soft when I do these BYOPs. So now you're gonna get to see the second look very quickly, and a little goofy shot of me chatting as I'm not really showing it off because I thought you had the rest of the video to see the look, which technically you could have, but you wouldn't know what I was saying. So now, enjoy that look. I did like that one. I really did like that one. And then I will give you the details for next month's theme. All right, lovelies, I hope you enjoyed this regrets slash foolish purchases palette video. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I think it was very helpful to just sort of go through my collection, see what I have purchased, and, you know, see a lot of what I'm like, why? Why did you do that, Kelly? And so hopefully I learned from that in the future. And already I think that I have. You know, I've really learned the colors that I like. I've also learned to take more of a look and be honest with myself about, like, do you have something like this already from another brand, or also quite possibly from this brand that you're about to purchase from? Yes, maybe. So, you know, there's a learning curve, and I'm hoping that I'm riding that curve out in the right way. I don't even know what that means. But I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much, lovelies, for hanging out with me tonight. Again, please let me know if you have some foolish purchase shades down below, or if there's one that you didn't think you loved and then you found a way to really fall in love with that, because I think that's even more amazing. So let's talk a little bit about next month's theme. We are going to be doing a palette based on a vacation destination. Now, I think I am going to do a destination that I have been to, but you could also do it on like a dream destination, right? Like, why not? I think that, you know, like rolling into the start of summer, that's a good time to be inspired. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, well, and obviously some of you that aren't in the same hemisphere as I am are like not going into summer, but like, it doesn't have to be a summer vibes palette. It's just, I mean, you could have like a very frosty, icy palette if you just had a great time on vacation somewhere that just tends to be more cold and snowy, right? So it's just really kind of reliving vacation vibes, or potentially, you know, getting hyped up about a place that you'd like to go to. So I say do it either way, whatever you want. So I'm very excited for that one. Again, we do post on the last Thursday of the month. I don't know if this one's going to be up in time. I will try to get it edited and up by tomorrow night, but we will have to see. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me. It's always great to get to share my love for makeup and single shadows and get to hear everything that you're enjoying. And again, I love that you all have found this series inspiring. That means so much to Kara and I. You know, we love having built this little community of single shadows lovers that, you know, really just have fun at building our own palettes. Now, with that being said, it's time for this girl to go wash her face and get ready for bed. But I do appreciate you, and I will see you really soon.